All right, Captain America: The First Avenger. I I'm gonna do like a quick review first. Try to do no spoilers, and then later on, I want to have like a deeper dive conversation into it. Uh, I could talk about this one movie for hours. I really love this movie. I keep wanting to try to save it for the end, but it's it's a great movie. It's a great action movie. It's a great superhero movie. It's got everything in it. You know, it's got a bit of humor, a bit of action. It's got a little bit of thrills, not a lot. You know, it's got a bit of heart to it. You know, it's not too campy. You know, especially for the time it was in, like World War II time. Everything fits very nicely. All the characters don't seem to really overstay their welcome too much, or I never felt like any character was out of place, or felt like there was any kind of plot point that just didn't really make sense to me. Like they might have jumped around a bit. There might have been a few things that were kind of like puzzling, I guess, but not in the sense of like this is taking me out of the film. So let's start with the characters. Uh, Steve Rogers, he's the guy I can root for. I think that's one of the most important things in a story like this is making sure that the hero, the protagonist, uh, is somebody that you want to root for. I mean, you can do it other ways, but I think for a story like this and a movie like this, it makes a lot of sense. And he's just, I mean, he has so much heart. You know, he's like the opposite of a bully. It just makes sense that he would be Captain America. I really enjoyed that he had all these different qualities. You know, he was a kind person. You know, he was a person that was willing to stand up to bullies. He was a person that had this willpower, the strength within him to kind of keep going, even though he was rejected from the army so many times. He, he was a brother to Bucky. Like he was just this solid guy. The only thing was he was this small, frail man. Hey, that was it. That was it. He just had that one uh, out of place card in life. And you can argue if it is or isn't, but for him, for his goals, it was. I I can't honestly imagine who else would be good for that kind of character and that kind of role, especially in that kind of time. I really, even though I know this happened all in the comics and all that stuff, but I really like that he was chosen to be Captain America rather than him being born that way or some experiment or something like that. I like that somebody was like, I guess it was an experiment, but you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like forced upon him or like it wasn't like an accident or anything like that. It was like this doctor had this intent. He wanted to do this, and he's like, "You, sir, you're the kind of guy I want to have this kind of ability." Yeah, it was super cool. He deserved it like the whole way through. That's how I felt about Steve Rogers, Captain America. He's so vanilla. He's so deliciously vanilla. He's like, I mean, where is this guy? Where did he come from? Like 30s, 40s. I get it, but you know what I mean. Like, it's just he's refreshing to see amongst the other Avengers. So I'll stop at that. I want to go into a deep dive later with him, but I'll go with that one. Next character I'll talk about, Red Skull. Red Skull is such a good opposite to Steve Rogers. I don't know how he is in the comics. You guys let me know. But Red Skull was a complete a hole to like everybody around him, but he was still in power. He had this giant army with all these cool weapons and tech and all that stuff. And dude was this complete insane a hole. And he carried it beautifully. He had such, not charm, that's not the word, strength in him, that it was like he's like this juggernaut of a man willpower wise, which was great because Steve Rogers was too. So I like that quite a bit. I like the look of him. Hugo Weaving, he plays a wonderful bad guy. If you guys remember him in Agent Smith, in the Matrix. Seeing him as Red Skull and Captain America just made sense. I don't know how you all felt, but his character was so good. Like, it was. It's kind of a crime that we didn't get to see more of Red Skull in the MCU. And I know there were reasons why, behind the scenes. I can't remember exactly all the details, but I think it was more due to Hugo Weaving than it was due to Marvel. But you guys let me know if you know more